Now, I'm not into moral victories, but if I were to take one, the effort looked a lot better today. What's up, guys? I haven't done a video in a while. I've still been posting on Twitter, but it's been a while since we've done a video, so I just want to do a video. My thoughts over the Sunflower Showdown, because I watched K-State play today, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I called my dad beforehand thinking we were going to get 50-pieced, and it looked like K-State actually went out there, put out some effort. It looked like there were some offenses being ran, so that's always great to see. But yeah, I just want to give my thoughts on the game, my like real quick reaction. My first big thought of the game is David Castillo, man. Love David Castillo being out there, getting a lot of minutes. He looked great. Offensively, he was putting out a lot of effort. He was hitting shots. Defensively, he was putting out some effort. He looked really good. I think the greatest part is when KU called the timeout. I think there was about 6 minutes left in the game. KU called a timeout, and Castillo was fired up. He was fired up. CBS showed the shot of him. I love seeing that from him. Again, really like him. Think he's going to be a K-State guy for a while. If I was K-State, I'd be figuring out how to get him to stay after this season, because he seems like a K-State guy to me. And I think he's going to do a lot of great things in the near future. I think that's your point guard. That's who you build the team around. Just looking at the box score, he played 23 minutes. He got 2 steals. Both of them were in the last 10 minutes of the game. He was 2 for 3 on 3 shooting, which is by far and away the best among the team. The only other person on the team who even made 2 3-pointers was Max Jones, and he hit 2 for 7. So the next point I want to make is Ugo looked really good out there today. I thought he played well. He got a couple of really nice dunks. He got some good minutes today, which is nice to see. I think K-State really benefits from having some height on the court. I don't think that's exclusive to K-State. Obviously, KU has height on them too with Hunter Dickinson, but I guess as like an observer, I don't really understand why Ugo hasn't seen the floor more. I don't know what's going on in the coaching locker rooms or anything like that, but I just don't understand why he hasn't seen the floor more. He seems like a decent player. He came from Kentucky, a good program. I hope he sticks around for another year, because he seems like he has a lot of great potential. Again, just don't understand why he's seen the floor, but he saw the floor a lot today. He got 15 minutes. He was 4 for 4 on field goals, which is just great to see. Caught a couple rebounds, 9 points on the day. Great effort from him. Really liked what I saw from him today, and I hope he gets more minutes in the near future. Now, the third player I want to talk about, speaking of efforts and minutes, is Coleman Hawkins. I want to make a more fleshed out video about this, but I think he put out a really good effort today, and I think he really showed leadership on the team. And the fully fledged out video I want to do, I'll give you all the cliff notes for right now, is I think he's really easy to put as the scapegoat because of the reported $2 million NIL deal. And I think it's really easy to point to him and be like, oh, he needs to be Michael Beasley for Kansas State. But he wasn't coming in to be Michael Beasley. He was coming in to be a glue guy and being a leader. And I think he did both of those really good today. He played the entire 40 minutes, which was really cool to see. He has steal, a block. The block was freaking incredible. He almost had a second block, which was called goaltending. I think goaltending was the right call there, but again, that's up to each their own interpretation. I really liked what he said after the game too. I'm not into moral victories. I feel like we should have won this game, and I honestly would agree with that. I don't think it's a tall order to ask Kansas State to win in Allen Fieldhouse. It's a tall order to ask anyone to win in Allen Fieldhouse. I think K-State really had a shot there, though. They were only down 6 with 3.5 minutes to go. It looked possible. I called my dad and told him, hey, put on the game. I think we have a shot at this. Obviously, it didn't work out that way, but I really thought we had a shot there for a second. I still think we looked good. But I'm glad that I really appreciate Coleman Hawkins' comments on that. This was a winnable game, and that there are no moral victories, because that's what this team should be about. I didn't even mention this yet. Hawkins had a double-double on the day, not with rebounds either, with assists. He had 10 assists and 15 points. He's the only person. No one was even close to him in assists on the team. The next closest was Max Jones with 4 on the day. So I think it's pretty crazy. I mean, Coleman Hawkins wanted to win this one. I hope no one tries to use him as a scapegoat after this game. I hope no one uses him as a scapegoat the entire rest of the season, to be quite frank, because I really think he's bought into the program. I don't think there's been some weird criticism of him, which some of it's fair, but I think most of it is just scapegoating him because he has the biggest NIL deal. And I think it's unfair to him, especially given the effort he shows. So another point I want to talk about, and I don't know why it's so hard to find the plus or minuses. I can't find them on CBS, on ESPN, on Kansas State's athletic website. The only person I can find them is from the plus and minus nerd himself, Landon Reinhardt. And here's the numbers I got for you for K-State at least. David was minus 22 in 20 minutes, and Max Jones was minus 20 in 32 minutes. Castillo was plus 15 in 23 minutes, and Ugo was plus 13 in 15 minutes. Now, I never think the plus or minus really gives the whole story. I just think it's interesting to talk about and look at. And David being minus 22 is, especially with only 20 minutes, is pretty crazy to me. But I mean, I don't think he had the greatest game. I think Castillo had a really good game. I think this is more indication though. If you're going to use plus and minus as like a point to look at and look at what to be mindful of in the future, I think Ugo's plus 13 speaks to the point that I think he deserves more minutes. And again, glad he got them today. The fifth thing I want to talk about is just looking towards the future and hoping that this indicates that K-State is figuring some things out and that the players are bought into the program more. I've talked about this with Hawkins already being bought in, but I hope this means this is an indication that the players are more bought into the program overall. Kind of an odd quote from Landon about Tang. Coach Tang says it's not the desired outcome for K-State, but he liked how his guys battled against a good team. And the quote is, "We're not basing this on results." Now, I think it's totally understandable to try and take the good away from losing to KU, because you were probably expecting to lose to KU, and covering the spread, which the best spread I saw was minus 14.5 for KU. So I think covering the spread says something. But again, I think it's kind of weird to say we're not basing this on results, because I still think the result is that you lost and that the game was winnable at some point. But regardless, I hope looking towards the future, you see, how do we get within 6 of them? How do we not let the 14-0 run at the very beginning of the game? How do we not burn 2 timeouts in the first 5 minutes? I don't even remember how long it was. It felt like it was only 5 minutes. KU just dominated the opening. K-State goes down 2 timeouts. I think it was. I actually think it was 4 minutes, because I believe it was at the second timeout was taken at 16 minutes, which is normally when the first media timeout is. I think that's what you look at going forward is, how do we build off of this? Even though it's a loss, how do you build off of it? How do you keep guys how do you keep the guys as locked in as they were today in the future? How do you beat KU in Bramlage this year? There's a lot of pressure on Tang, I feel, to win this game in Bramlage, given KU showed some weakness today, and the fact that as of right now, Tang is undefeated against KU in Bramlage. So I think there's some pressure for Tang to figure out a way to rally his troops and get these guys to win in Bramlage. And I think even though it's been kind of a disappointing for K-Staters, I feel like that's one way you could come out on top and say, hey, you don't want to say at least we beat KU, but it's something, right? It's something if you can beat your in-state rival at home. It gives some victory to the people who are still cheering for you and still wanting you to win. So that's my thoughts for today. Hopefully I get this video up. We'll see how busy I am at work. I gotta go do that though. So, but thank you all very much for watching. I appreciate y'all. Hopefully we see more of this K-State basketball going for the rest of the year, because today's game was a game I want to watch. I enjoyed watching it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy the game today. I kind of just threw it on because, it's on CBS. But I enjoyed the game today, and I hope that this pattern continues and K-State can pick up a few games here in the short future, because right now they are on I believe, 5-game slide, and obviously that's not good. So, those are my thoughts, and hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.